Welcome back, everybody. We're here at this bowling alley.
All right, time to go bowling.
It's about time, really.
The
Where's
question
the entrance?
is,
Hey,
18 lanes. Which do you choose?
the one all the way at the end, of course.
Of course.
Can't get away from
It's like
all the
sitting
people.
Yeah, it's like sitting in the back of class.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can shoot spitballs at people.
I don't need to be in the middle of all those people. So
Or
I'm
in the
starting.
case of this one kid that I went to class with, throwing a ceramic ashtray at a teacher's head.
That sounds like a good old brick high.
Yeah, it was the bad class. So when I first moved to Jersey, I was very angry, very depressed. Yeah, but this was like,
No, you've explained to me. I understand why you were.
Yeah,
It made
like
sense.
getting ripped away from like everything you know.
Oh.
What's this?
Oh.
Didn't expect this to happen. I just wanted to go. That's the bowling balls. They're rolling
You're
them all at
watching it.
once. Oh.
You're watching it transition.
Oh no. This time it feels different. Rather than shifting from reality to a nightmare. This is more like reality becoming a nightmare. Well, you got that right, Harry. I don't like this feeling, like something bad will happen. It's already
What makes you say
happening.
that?
It's already happening. No doubt, something terrible is going on. Okay.
It's probably fine. So anyway.
Yes.
No, so what was I talking about?
You were talking about being ripped from
So I was in this one class, which is where I met Wayne when I first moved here, my buddy Wayne, and like a couple other people that I'm still friends with. First people I ever met in New Jersey. After maybe a month or two in that class, I was acting out a little. Maybe
No.
maybe caused a teacher to call my house crying.
Oh, I
speak to
remember
my
that
mother.
story, but I don't think you've ever told it.
Yeah, I have. Because there were multiple times, but so anyway, in that class, what they'd had in 8th grade in middle school in New Jersey, they had you split into sections. So I went from California, like junior high school, which is like first time you had lockers. It's 7th and 8th grade. You go from class to class. You have a PE class. Like it felt like what high school was going to be. Then I moved to Jersey, and middle school was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Yeah.
And it felt like an elementary school again, where all of a sudden I was back in a class that like you stayed with the same class through the whole day. And we were grade 8. Yeah. So grade 8 was split into 8-1, 8-2, 8-3, all the way to 8-8.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's how my middle school did it, and I totally forgot.
So I was 8-6 when I first moved there.
Okay.
And then I, after a couple months, I was too much to handle in that class, I guess.
Enough.
So they switched me to 8-7, which was some of the like the bad kids, like our buddy Joe, who ended up killing somebody. That's where I met him.
Justifiably, people. Just throw that out there.
Well, I mean,
He was not. It's not like he was thrown in jail for killing somebody.
No. Self-defense.
Yeah, it was self-defense. Everybody
for a drug deal gone wrong, but self-defense nonetheless.
But he was not the aggressor.
So they put me in 8-7, and I'm with some of the bad kids. So we were in class one day. We had our English teacher, Mrs. Harrigan, who she was a little neurotic, jumpy.
Okay.
Not the friendliest person. So her back was to the class, her back was to the class. She was writing on the chalkboard one day, and I think I had thrown something at somebody and like hit them, just fucking around. And then this kid, John, tall, goony kid, who was like friends with like the popular kids and everything.
Okay.
But this class, all of a sudden, everybody in this class was kind of friends because we all acknowledged the fact that we were in the fucked up class.
Yeah.
He had made in ceramics an ashtray. So her back's to the class. She's writing on the chalkboard. He fucking hurls this thing at the chalkboard next to her head.
Oh no.
It explodes, shatters.
Ooh.
Her face turns back to us with this like wrenched look, and she just goes, ah! And then runs out of the classroom.
Oh.
And we didn't see her for like 15 minutes. We're like, what the fuck happened? We're all dying because like we're like, that was insane. Like you almost killed her. And then the principal walks in and teaches the rest of the class.
Oh geez.
Yeah. She used to wear a big ceramic leaf around her neck, like a necklace too, like the size of my palm.
Really?
It was, just a weird thing I remember about her.
That's odd, but well, you know.
But yeah,
you know, that sounds about right for all the things I always heard. And anytime I actually went by your high school, I believe
it wasn't a bad high school or anything. No, like Brick at the time was the second safest city in America. I'll have you know.
Yeah, because all the crimes people were committing were ones that hurt themselves.
Exactly.
And not other people.
Drug usage and suicide rampant in Brick.
Yeah.
But
violent crime? Nah, you wouldn't hear of it back then.
And the school, honestly, the school wasn't bad. Like it was just a normal school.
Honestly,
nothing crazy.
My only experiences there were always bad. Anytime I walked in, maybe it didn't help I was with Brian, but you know, that
definitely didn't help.
I mean, I guess people just knew him because it's not like he would do something to antagonize anybody. All right.
And he had already done that prior to you getting there.
Yeah. Well, I just remember picking him up from there one day, and then this huge, burly-looking kid who I guess was on the wrestling team, and his tiny little friend who was like a foot and a half shorter than him, walking past us while we were just talking. We didn't acknowledge them. There's nothing. We were just having a conversation amongst ourselves. And that kid gets to the end of the hallway, suddenly stops, turns back to me, and just goes, "Hey, you just fucking look at me?"
Yep.
And I was like, huh? Because I didn't go there. I was like, what? And he comes up, him and his little friend come up and just are like, "Hey, you just fucking looked at me. Huh?" And it starts getting in my face. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, this is really weird. I'm just kind of laughing, and I can tell Brian's nervous.
Yeah.
Because I'm just kind of like,
Brian was picked on, and like, you know.
Like I was definitely nervous, but it was that nervous energy of like, is this really happening? This feels like something out of like a TV show.
You were also a lot more timid back then too.
Well, yeah, but still
like a lot less brazen.
Still, like, I was basically smiling in his face because I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I've never gone to a place where this sort of thing happens.
That's the kind of shit, like if that had happened to me, I would have charged for them, be like, yeah, I fucking looked at you, and just walked towards them until they backed away.
Yeah, I was all skin and bones. You had some size. I was, this is before I got any sort of even fat on my body. I was just
That's one of my favorite things, was
skinny
picking
boy
on bullies in that fucking school.
Oh, yeah.
Any chance I got to pick on a bully,
yeah,
I would take it.
You could say in the long run, you certainly won that whole thing.
I won one of the altercations.
No details need to be said beyond that.
Not that anybody would know. No, all right, I'll tell them. Should I tell the story?
Tell the story. Go for it.
I've probably told the story.
Tell the quick version. Like just a brief.
I've told the story on stream before. I know that. So anyway,
yeah.
This was, I don't know, maybe junior year. We used to go to homeroom in the beginning of the day, but before homeroom would happen, we would get there like 20 or 30 minutes early, and we would just all hang out in our lockers or go get like breakfast or something. So this was before homeroom one day. I'm standing against my locker, hanging out with my buddy Rob. Couple friends of ours, Tuck, one of them, was in the cafeteria getting like bagels. This one kid who was a twin.
Oh, really?
His name was Vinny. Yes. I can't remember the brother's name, but Vinny was the one that was not pleasant.
Oh, it certainly doesn't sound like he was, yeah. Very
aggressive towards people. Friends with all the popular kids, but didn't play any sports. But was friends with all sports people. So kind of like jock by proxy.
Right.
Not very big or anything. Like I was like probably like 7 inches taller than the kid. But I'm standing back against my locker, book bag on the ground. just bullshitting with Rob. This kid and his buddy walk up to us, and keep in mind I'm against my locker.
Yeah.
He walks up to me, hallway clear in front of me, and just says, "Why don't you fucking get out of my way so I can go by?" And I look around, kind of like bewildered, like this can't be happening. His buddy just stops and like looks back and kind of like smirking. And I just turn to him, I'm like, "Well, how about you fucking make me do it then?" And he just goes like, "Huh?" I'm like, no, move me. And he's like, "How about he pulled up this Snapple bottle he had back when they were still glass. And he goes, "How about I break this bottle across your fucking face and make you bleed?" And then that's the
big mistake.
That's when the switch flipped in me. And I was just like, "Well, how about you fucking do it then?" And I dropped my book bag on the ground. And I was just like, "Go on, take your glass bottle and shove it in my fucking face and make me fucking bleed." And he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Come on." And I start punching my locker and I dent my locker in. And I'm like, "Make me fucking bleed." I'm screaming while this kid looks fucking like, "What the fuck did I do?" I see from around the corner Tuck and our buddy Jay sprinting because they heard me in the cafeteria. And they're like, "Uh-oh," and they're running and they stop and I see them just like in the back, in the corner of the building, just watching like, and I just like sitting there going, "Fucking cut me! Cut me!" Punching my locker. And the kid just goes like, "Fuck this," and just walks away. I'm like, "Not sticking to your word, you fucking pussy! Come on!" And he turns around, he's like, "What'd you say?" I'm like, "You fucking heard me!" And I start walking towards him and he turns around and just walks away really quick.
Yeah.
And everybody around started cheering and I was on fire. I'm like, "Motherfucker!" And I just grabbed my book bag and I had to leave.
So just as an interjection here, for anybody because it's a very popular end of story kind of meme where people, let's say online, make up stories that couldn't possibly be true and then end it with, "and then everybody applauded," right?
Yeah.
So I want to interject with the fact that before I even met Chad in person, this probably had to be a few months before at least that I'd met you, because I knew all the people, especially Brian, who went to school with you. That story made its way around from multiple people and was told the exact same way by everybody. And all their stories match up perfectly, including everybody applauding you doing that.
It 100% happened like that. Like I'm not great at like embellishing stories when they're things that really happen because I don't find a need to tell a story unless it's fucking just ridiculous.
Right.
And that's one that's ridiculous. But the little postscript on that is the reason we bring it up, and the reason that I consider myself having won that fight is we found out that 2 weeks ago he died.
Yeah, he recently passed.
He
Which,
died.
Look, tragic in its own way, but when you read, when there's somebody that that's pretty awful, and like maybe they've changed over the years.
Maybe they did.
I don't know.
Maybe he was a really good guy. I don't know. All I know of him is the 16, 17-year-old version of him.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's dead.
Yes.
The 16, 17-year-old version.
Yeah,
I can't speak to the adult.
Yeah.
But 16, 17 version, fuck him.
So I looked up some things. I found, actually, I guess somebody was like, if anybody wants to hear his voice again, here's some voicemails that he left me. And I was like,
wait, him?
Yeah.
Did you listen?
Yeah. And guess what?
He sound like a dickhead?
He sounded like a huge dick. Like, if you want to be remembered, look, people, don't live your life so that one day if someone goes, "You know what? If you want to remember him, here's some voicemails he left me." "Yo, what's up, fucker? Yo, what's up, motherfucker? Yo, why don't we get together? We'll blaze." And you're like, no, don't. That's not what you play for somebody. Like, to hear his sweet voice again. Like, no, don't, like...
I feel like you being like, I know that everybody misses Chad right now, but I've got a couple recordings that we never put out. And it's just like video of me sleeping on your chair because I was snoring real loud and choking. And you're just like, just so you guys can have a little bit more Chad here. And it's just me like.
That's how you'd want to be remembered. Remember him as he was.
My family in fucking tears because you released this.
Oh man. Well.
What are we doing?
This is great. So actually, that was perfect. I used that time. I've almost covered all the ground outside down in this area.
Open the map. Oh!
One more to kill.
All right, I'm guessing you're going in the right direction.
Well, I've got some garages I'm next to. Hang on. Oh.
Well, the fact that you're going this direction and you're still getting new enemies is good. So
Well,
I would say just keep going this direction.
There's not a whole lot more this way, though. That's the only issue.
Let me open the map. Triangle.
I actually have to switch.
Triangle!
I'm switching to the hammer. I have to switch to the hammer.
Every time you go there to do the map, it fucking kills me inside a little.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's how I feel like the first 3 days I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, where I was like, what's the quick button for the map? I don't know. So I kept having to go in the regular menu, like, God damn it. And I'm streaming it, so I'm like kind of short on time.
Yeah.
But half my gameplay is me trying to navigate to the map.
Yeah, Rockstar has never been good about the map stuff. So yeah, there's a lighthouse down there. But wait, I feel like before I go down that long dock, I should just check to make sure there's no way into this garage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check these two.
Yeah.
Should be something to kill over here, it sounds like.
I hear it. That is to say, I heard it.
I saw her. That is to say, I seen her.
I seen him. That is to say, I saw him.
That's such a brilliant joke.
Oh God, I gotta go back and just watch Simpsons from the beginning.
You have Disney Plus. No reason not to.
I know. Because I haven't watched Simpsons. I haven't watched an episode of The Simpsons in probably 22 years.
Yeah.
Like I left off when they were on like season 7 or 6. But I used to we watched it as a family. Like that was like a thing for my family to get together on Monday nights, 8 o'clock to watch The Simpsons.
I forgot it was on Mondays originally.
Yeah, it started on Mondays and moved to Tuesdays, I think. Yeah,
and Sunday became its like long-term thing somewhere around season 7 or 8.
Right when we moved to New Jersey, they moved it to Sunday because that's when they started Futurama also, and they played them back to back.
Oh, okay. That was when I started watching them new, because the household I grew up in.
Yeah,
I still like bringing up to my mom that she didn't let me watch The Simpsons for her reasoning was because she didn't want me watching a show about a disrespectful child.
I mean,
that's, you know what? That's, to be fair, the same reason. She did let me see Home Alone, but always let me know she disapproved of it because it was about a disrespectful child.
Yeah, but it was about a disrespectful child learning his lesson.
Yeah, but the way he spoke to adults, Chad, was just it was unacceptable.
And then he was penalized for it. He was hunted.
Yeah, that's true.
They wanted to murder him. Joe Pesci was going to eat his fingers.
Look, my mother would she always had the conservative radio on, and whatever the latest thing they were upset about or saying was the latest
she
thing.
Was like Mortal Kombat was made by the devil kind of.
Oh yeah, I couldn't see. Yeah. She didn't let me see Mortal Kombat in theaters because of that. I was very disappointed. Thankfully, by the time it came to pay-per-view, she had relented.
Whereas I had my mother take me to Target to pick up Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo when it was finally released. And then Mortal Kombat 2.
You were watching Hellraiser and stuff like that. And me,
I'm just. By the way, I bought a little. I was at Target the other day. I had to pick up a couple things, and they had for like $6. They had a little Pinhead figure.
Really nice.
Yeah, so I got it, and it's actually pretty cool. You know, it's like the NECA Terror Tunes. So they're kind of like stylized, a little cartoony looking. But like Freddy looks a little cartoony. Pennywise looks a little cartoony. Pinhead just looks like fucking Pinhead. Like there's no way to make him cartoony, I guess.
Hellraiser is one of those ones that I haven't watched since being old enough to really get it.
Yeah.
So that's a series I wouldn't mind going through.
1 and 2, definitely worth it. 3, Bloodline people hate, but I love it. I think you would actually like Bloodline number 4.
Yeah, I should watch those because
Bloodline felt very much like a late 90s sci-fi movie.
Yeah. What is? Oh, never mind. That's okay. I'm on the dock. That's
almost
right.
like an Event Horizon kind of thing, but a little cheesier.
You know, oh, that's one we brought up before. That's a movie I've never watched. Event Horizon.
Oh, Event Horizon.
Always wanted to. Just it's again. That's not a nobody let me see it. I just happened to never watch it. I really should.
Oh yeah, that's what you gotta watch that just for Sam Neill.
It was so divisive. Like people either love it or hate it. That's the kind of movie I love to watch. Like. If people are torn on a movie like that, then it's my kind of thing. So one day. And also just to see a good Paul W.S. Anderson movie, it feels like, you know, it's like a rare bird sighting.
It really is.
I gotta do it. Like, look, I'm not into birds per se, but if you're telling me this bird doesn't show up very often, I'll go look.
I think that might be one of the only movies he's done that I consider legitimately good.
That and Mortal Kombat.
But so now I love Mortal Kombat. But
that's fair.
Even when I was a kid, I was in love with the movie, but I acknowledged the fact that it was not anywhere near what a Mortal Kombat movie could have been. And I was always kind of disappointed by it. And it's not a great movie.
No, it isn't.
In terms of performances. Everything else, like the story's fine, whatever. For Mortal Kombat, it's passable.
You know what it is?
The effects were all like good at the time, but the acting in it was always like.
It worked off of some people's charisma. It worked off of Cary Tagawa's
charisma.
Cary
Tagawa, Christopher Lambert, his weird fucking Raiden.
Yeah, he wasn't even good in it.
Kind of worked,
but he was likable.
Yeah.
You know what? And you know what? That's strange.
They were all likable. They were all likable, even the villains.
Yeah, I was thinking of Annihilation the other day, and I forgot that the only good thing I can say about that is I think James Remar's performance was very good as Raiden when he took over.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only good thing I can say.
It didn't really feel like Raiden per se, but it was a fun person to watch on screen.
Exactly.
Versus the rest of the dog shit.
Yeah. All right, you know, I think we're due for a break-in episode at this point. This has been a great one.
This has essentially just been a podcast.
Yeah, but it's good. It gave us time to clear out the area, you know? Now we're going to head down this dock, and I guess tomorrow we'll head for the lighthouse? That's the next place to go, I guess, huh?
It seems to be.
I'm going to take one of these ampoule. See what that does, I guess. But yeah, we'll head down this way tomorrow, everybody. If you have any bully stories you want to tell, go for it.
Any of your bullies ever die? I'd love to hear about it.
I related that story to Christine and her mom and everybody, and I was just like, it's like my dream. It's like it's what I fantasize about with the people that I hated. Anytime I think about those years, I fantasize about it's like seeing the story pop up on my Facebook timeline.
Oh, that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, so I figured.
I see this I see somebody I know post a picture. I was just like, I can't believe you're gone. Rip it. And I'm like, no, no. And I start browsing around. I'm like, my God, it can't be. He's dead.
When you first said like, hey, you remember that guy? I was like, oh my God, like really?
How did I want to see how
I figured either.
What did I message you?
It was either gonna be that he was dead or that he came into
ran
your
into
work
him again
or something. Yeah.
I said, remember the story of me screaming at the school bully in front of my locker, telling him to smash his glass bottle in my face? You said, of course. And I send you.
He sent me the GoFundMe. And I was like, oh no. Okay.
I sent the GoFundMe.
Oh boy. Look, you know,
that might be one of the cruelest things I've ever done.
And if this upsets anybody, which I don't know, I think our audience is pretty good about this sort of thing. But if it upsets anybody, take it as a life lesson. Don't live your life in such a way where if you die, someone's gonna be thrilled.
And don't be a bully.
Yeah, that too. That's part of it.
Because you die.
Yeah, eventually.
Tune in tomorrow, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Comment, subscribe.